So let's talk about that. When I think corrosion, I think brown. So are there different colors of corrosion? Hello and welcome to the Handy Women YouTube channel. I am your host, Geraldine Anello. I am the founder of the Handy Women community. You can join it by clicking the link below. It's on Facebook. It's got over 53,000 members. It is kicking and rocking and empowering women because our mission is to empower women with tools. And to do just that today, I've got my guest, Jessica Summers. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Geraldine. How are you doing?
I am very excited about today because Jessica, you're going to show us how to replace a car battery. And that is something that I think a lot of us want to be able to do. So I'm very excited to discover how we can do that. So first of all, what made you decide to try to do it yourself and do it yourself eventually?
When I was growing up, I learned to drive on a 1986 Ford. So I learned to drive with a standard H, and well, I was born in 86 as well, and as I got older, my truck got older too, so that means that it had some trouble, it had some clutch problems, and we ran through a couple of different batteries over the years. So I learned to recognize the signs of corrosion on the outside of the battery. I learned how to jump a car and use my jumper cables. And a couple days ago, my mother-in-law came to my house to pick up one of my boys so she could babysit for me. And she got in her car and nothing happened. So I told her I would take a look at it when I got home because I had to bring the other child to the doctor's office. And I opened it up and there was that picture I shared in the group of this battery with a mound of blue corrosion on top of the battery. And I went, oh yeah, that's like definitely not supposed to be blue inside the car.
So let's talk about that. When I think corrosion, I think brown. So are there different colors of corrosion?
Absolutely. It depends on what type of metal that you're corroding. And I know that batteries, like the connection in battery terminals, are they're made out of copper because copper conducts electricity really well. So if you ever see old pennies, they turn kind of a blue-green color. It's the same concept with your battery.
Ooh, so is blue worse than brown corrosion? Is blue like a bigger sign of trouble?
I would say that blue just indicates the metal that is being corroded is different from the brown corrosion. So like brown corrosion you see on nails and stuff, and that's iron or some sort of steel, where that blue corrosion happens to be copper.
Wow.
It's not worse, it's just a different type of metal.
So what are those signs of corrosion? What do you look for? How often do you look for it even?
Well, honestly, I'm very surprised that she hadn't had somebody mention anything to her beforehand, because it was a significant amount of that corrosion on her battery, and she regularly gets her oil changed. And I would check it, just kind of look at your battery terminals and see if they start to turn white first, and then they start to turn kind of blue. And I would just, whenever you're doing your 3-month or 3,000-mile services, I would just check then.
Okay. And so you're looking for white spots, brown spots, blue spots?
Probably white or blue. It looks kind of like a powder. So this is my van. It's not the same car that I changed the battery on, but it's my car. So this is our battery. This one here is our positive terminal. It's our hot cable, and you can tell because it's got red cables. This one here is our negative or our cold cable, and you can tell that it's got black. When you jump, you always do black to black and red to red for you and your other car. My battery got replaced not so long ago, but if you look really carefully right there, you can see a little tiny bit of blue corrosion there. And that's on the cord, not on the battery itself. And where I found all of the corrosion on my mother-in-law's car, I mean, it was like a big pile right in here. The cord itself was corroded. The terminal where it sticks out that you hooked the battery to was corroded. It was awful. I do know that several of our members mentioned that you can pour Coke on the battery to remove the corrosion, and somebody else, and which I did try. But it was too badly gone. And somebody else had mentioned baking soda water, and I've never done that, but I believe it. But you just want to get a wire brush and disconnect your terminal, so you're only touching one terminal at a time, and just pour some Coke on there or some baking soda water and use a wire brush to remove as much of the corrosion as possible. The corrosion prevents the electrical connection between the wire and the terminal from the battery.
Interesting. So it's not always a matter of changing the battery. It's just a matter of like keeping up, doing maintenance on it so it doesn't get bad as fast, right?
Yes. But I would say that once it starts to corrode, it will eventually go bad. It's kind of like the beginning of the end, but if you look at it regularly, you can kind of check it and make sure that if there is any small amount of corrosion, you can extend the life as far as possible.
How do you disconnect the cable, the connection?
So you need a socket or a wrench, and you would take just this piece off right here and this piece off right here. This one I don't mind touching. And they should loosen, and this part here, it's kind of like a clamp. It will loosen, and then it just pulls straight up and off.
Okay, so you take care of the corrosion. Now it's like your mother-in-law. She arrives, her car doesn't happen, and you have to replace it. How does that work?
So you because her car was not mobile at all, I couldn't get it to start at all. I took both the clamps off, and if there is, on her car, there was something that went over the top to just secure the battery in place. I had to take that off as well. You take the entire battery out. You bring it to whatever auto parts store that you really like. You can ask them to test it, but if it's really obvious, then you can just purchase a new battery. And batteries are very plug and play. You need the make and the model of your car, and they will give you the right piece, and then you put right back in the exact same place you took it out. And make sure you do red to red. They'll come with a cap, so you know, but you do red to red and black to black, and you're all set.
And so they have all the batteries you may need in store right away. It doesn't have to be ordered and brought in from another country, things like that.
Well, I understand that you are not in the United States, but I am. So in the United States, as long as you're not driving a exceptionally odd or foreign car, they should have all of the batteries right in store.
How much do batteries go for?
They're pretty darn expensive. Her battery was $160 plus a $15 disposal fee.
Oh, there's a disposal fee.
Yes, because it's hazardous waste.
Okay. And how much would it cost to get it changed at a garage?
Well, I'm not sure. It's a pretty quick thing, so it'll cost the same $160, and I'd probably throw in about $30 worth of labor as well.
Okay, so it's a really easy thing to do. Are there any pitfalls to avoid? Any like warning signs of things like once you put in the new battery, how do you know if you did it right? Like, is there any danger to starting your car and you did it wrong? Like, could it explode?
I don't think that it would. I think it would just not start. If you happen to cross your cables and put your black to your red and your red to your black, I think it would just be like putting in a battery in your remote control wrong. It doesn't really do anything bad to it. It just doesn't work.
That is such a good comparison. That really lowers the stakes. It's like, oh, if it's like a battery in my remote control, but now it's just bigger and it's a car.
Yeah.
That's easy enough. Okay. We can all do it. There's really no reason we wouldn't do it ourselves. It's like,
No.
oh,
And if your car will start and it's just starting to go bad, frankly, most of our auto parts stores here in America will just replace it for you.
wow. How much time is there between the first sign of corrosion and when it's time to change the battery?
It depends, but you can easily limp along 6 months to a year or more.
Okay, that's a long time. What's the average life of a battery?
About 5 years.
5 years. Okay, those are really good pointers to remember. And are the batteries always in the same part, in the same spot in every car? Or do you have to like, can it be sometimes under other elements and you have to dig down, things like that?
Batteries are always pretty accessible. Some of them are on the right, some of them are on the left, but they're always easily accessible. And they're much heavier than you would expect too.
Oh, how heavy?
That battery is probably like 40 pounds. I mean, they're pretty heavy.
So is it, when you're going to put it yourself into a car, like, is there a support under it where it fits nicely? Is it like a Lego piece where you're just like, boom?
Yes. Yes.
This is changing a battery car is just like changing a remote control and just like a Lego. We made it like,
Exactly.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. If you're watching, can you write in the comment, did you change your car battery? Are you going to try it now that you know how easy it is? Write in the comment, like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much, Jessica.
Thank you.
Bye.